about Microsoft Forms, Microsoft Forms is basically an online survey creator, and you can use it to create quizzes. You can use it to create feedback surveys. You can use to create any form of survey. For example, for those of us that registered for the class, I'm sure you went through a Microsoft form and it was quite colorful. So I used Microsoft form to create it. And Microsoft form is a part of Microsoft 365 actually. Many people don't realize it when they're talking about Microsoft 365. They just think either Word, SharePoint, PowerPoint, Teams, OneDrive. People forget about things like Microsoft Forms, and it's a very, very valuable asset in Microsoft 365. All right. So Microsoft Forms was released in 2016 of June. Okay. You can collect data basically, and any data collected from it can be exported to be used for probably data analysis. Okay. And you can also present your data on like probably you have a meeting and you've collected some responses. You can actually present your Microsoft Forms to your company. Okay. So what are the key features of Microsoft Forms? Microsoft Forms are customizable. Okay, you can create a poll, you can do a questionnaire, a survey, you can create registrations and make them look as colorful as you want them to be. Okay, it has a user-friendly interface, which simply means that anybody at all can read can actually use Microsoft Forms. Okay, then you get real-time results, which means that whenever you send out a questionnaire, a poll, a registration survey, quiz, whatever it is you create with your Microsoft form, your responses come in immediately. You can get the responses immediately. You don't have to wait for the time to end if you set a time limit, okay? Then there are built-in analytics in Microsoft Forms. Now, what I mean by built-in analytics is that it evaluates every single response that comes in, analyzes almost every word that you see. Okay?
Okay.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, you
yeah.
are.
Okay, great.
Yeah, sure.
Great. So you can also integrate Microsoft Forms with any Microsoft 365 tool. So you can use Forms in almost every, in short, I think it's every one of the Microsoft 365. I know you can use it in Power Automate, you can use it in OneDrive, you can use it in SharePoint, you can use it in Teams. So it is very universal. It actually integrates with all the tools in Microsoft 365. Okay. Ooh, I did not make a change to that. Okay, my bad. So who can use it? Anybody at all can use Microsoft 365 actually. It can be used by a company, it can be used by an individual, it can be used by anybody at all. It could be used by a student. Probably you're writing your project and you want to get answers to a questionnaire, and probably for someone that is not mobile, the person can actually use a questionnaire. I've gotten some, that's why I'm using that as an example. The person can use the responses they get from you and go on to use it for their project. Okay, these are just the few people. Everybody can use it, basically everybody. Personally, for a company, for schools, that students, even schools can use it as a way for their quizzes. Okay, now to use Microsoft Forms, we can log into Microsoft Forms using your work or school account or your personal Microsoft account, which is your Live, Outlook. You can use your Gmail account that is connected to your Microsoft account. Okay, and these would help you access Microsoft Forms. Okay, now I am going to show us how Microsoft Forms looks and how you can access it. Okay, now this is my personal account. Okay, I use this to receive any Microsoft information. This is my personal account. Okay, I'm just trying to prove that you can actually use it with your work account also, or your personal account. So if you don't have a company account that is connected to Microsoft 365, you can actually use a Microsoft account to connect. So I'm trying to prove a point because people asked about it being open to all or not. If you don't have a license, you get the Go Premium info. So when they're asking you to go premium, means they want you to pay. There are some features that you would not see. Okay, so this is officially how your homepage for Microsoft Forms looks like. Okay, now here you can see all the forms that I recently created. You can also see your forms. I have not created any form before. You can see the field forms. You can see your favorites. So you can favorite any form so that it would pop up in favorites. Just a quick test. I can remove it from favorites and it gets away from here. Okay. You can also filter and search the forms that you have created. So for example, you had 300 forms, as much forms as you can have, and you want to find a particular form that you created a long time ago. All you have to do is filter by keyword by just searching a word in the topic, the head, inside the form, you just search. Okay, now at the top of the screen, you see new form, new quiz, and quick import. Now, for new form, all you have to do is click on it, and it takes you to a new page while it leaves the Microsoft Forms page open. And every form starts with the name untitled form till you change the name. Now, for example, I want to change my name to feedback form. And I can also drop a description for the form. Okay, I can say this is a form for feedbacks, and kindly fill these honestly. Okay, so I'm going to show us this form, how it looks later on. Okay, so now Microsoft is showing you that these are the types of fields you can start with. Now you can either start with a choice column, a choice field rather, a text field, rating field, date field, ranking, Likert, Net Promoter Score, and section. So section is just breaking it into different, it's just like the name explains, into different sections. Okay, so you can have personal information section, you can have work information section. So let me not quickly go into the section. So now there's also the recommended. Now these are just what Microsoft feels based on your topic. It actually works based on your topic. I noticed it. If I changed my topic, it probably would have brought up a different thing. But it works based on your topic. And since I asked for feedback, it's asking for feedback also. Okay, I hope we can see that. So I can use any one of these. I can just select and add selected. automatically it creates a field with that question. Okay? And while you are editing, you will not be able to see how the form looks, right? So they've created a feature called preview. So now I've created this and I'm not sure how it would look for a user. So I click on preview and automatically it shows me how it should look for a user, the computer view and the mobile view. Okay, so let me go back to editing. I'm going to delete this particular field and I'm going to add a field by myself. And the first field I want to add is a text field. Now I'm going to ask for name. Okay, and then I'm going to ask. So when you add a field, it doesn't pop up the way it did at first. If you notice, it comes to a drop down basically and shows you all the types of fields you can add. So now I added a name field. So I'm going to add a field with one of each type of field. So now for choice, I'm going to add, I'm just putting in random details, okay? How was the class? Okay, and then it automatically puts option 1, 2, and I can just fill in good, not good. And as you can see, it gives me either add another option or add the word called order as an option. Okay, so now let me try to explain how this field works. Now let me preview it so that you can see it. Now, you know that there are some forms you fill and they ask you, did you graduate? Yes, no, and then they put other fields. This is how it is created in Microsoft Forms. Okay. So we also have the rating field. Now, this is just basically saying, how would you rate somebody? How would you rate the trainer? Okay, and then you can put how many stars, like the highest number of stars you want to see, or you can change the symbol to smiley face, you can change it to thumb like, you can change it to trophy, whatever it is you want to use. Okay, and then you can also add the date column. Now this is asking, you can say what date, what date was the training. Now I cannot edit this because it is automatic. So if you want to see how this looks, you go to preview and then you see it automatically gives me the date column and it tells you how the date is imputed, because why it does that is some people use day, month, and year, which we use in Nigeria. Some other people in some other countries, I know for the US, they use month, day, and year. Okay, so it shows you the format in which the date is going to be imputed. Let me give us an example. Can we see that it shows the month, the day, and then the year? It shows you exactly how it would be. That's just something I wanted to point out. And when you have imputed a date and you probably think it's wrong or you just imputed the wrong date, you click on the clear selection and it clears. Now, this is just giving you an idea on how you can see how the form looks for people on their end. So now somebody else, when they want to fill the form, this is how the form will look. Okay. So there are so many other fields we can add, like ranking, whose training was better. So you can say Rukky Victor. Now I want to show us how this looks. I'm going to delete the third option. So do you see that I can rank it? Okay, I can put myself first or Victor first. This is just to, like, they're asking you, it's like when you're doing a personality test. I know they ask likely to agree, neutral, disagree. So this is an example of it. They say, which one do you agree the most? Okay. Am I still audible? Sorry that I'm asking.
Yes, you are still audible.
Yes, you
Yes.
are.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to add the next field, which is the Likert field. Now, many people don't know what this field is, and Microsoft took it upon themselves to explain what it is. So I'm going to zoom it in a bit. I'm going to zoom in a bit so that we can see the description. So Likert is used to gauge attitudes, opinions about a topic. So now I can set it up and say, the Microsoft Forms class now. And then the Exchange Online class. So now, basically, I can just add, just like I mentioned earlier, agree, or, okay, so now, did you notice something? When I typed agree, it showed me suggestions. Can we see that?
Yes, we can.
So
Yes, you can.
from your words, you can actually just get Microsoft to give you interesting suggestions. So let me try something else just for the fun of it. You have dislike, and it didn't give me anything. Okay, so I think I would go with agree just for the sake of testing it out. Can we see that?
We can see.
Yes,
Yes.
It
we can.
automatically
Yes.
imputed it. Okay, so I'm just imputing these types of fields so that we understand how each fields work. Okay, then we have the net promoter score. So immediately I put it up, as I put the net promoter score, it automatically puts a question, so you can customize the question for yourself, and it shows you what 0 is. 0 is not at all likely, and 10 is extremely likely. For some places, it's the other way around. I've seen forms where I have to put extremely likely was from 1 and not at all likely was from 10. Okay, it doesn't make sense, but yes, we see it like that sometimes. Okay, the next field is the section. Now, section breaks each question type or each field, or it breaks it down into different places. Now, everything we have added was created in section 1. So when I clicked on section, it automatically created another section, which means I want to start talking about something else, maybe. Okay. And when I'm filling on the Microsoft Form, when someone else is looking at it, when they get to the end of this, they are not going to see this next section. It's going to show them next instead of submit that we saw earlier.